This conference will now be recorded.
So we can automate a manual business process, but it's not efficient. So that is still information technology, but that's not an efficient information technology. So if your users do something manually and it takes them 30 minutes, by automation, when you use a system, it should not take 1 hour. Then that's not efficient. So that's what that's talking about. Information technology is the storage and mining of data. Storage means warehousing. Mining means the analytics of software, of data. So that's also information technology. Information technology is monitoring of the business processes. Information technology is convenience. I mean, we all know Uber. We know, all those kind of other software that solve that purpose. Information technology is securing your information systems and assets. It's about securing your assets. Information technology is about IT governance, governance of IT and process improvements. And I have it there. Believe me, IT is all about software. And that is the secret. I mean, it's an open secret, but if you think about it, IT is all about software. When I started my career, it used to be IT 60% software, 40% hardware. But today, everything has gone to almost software. So IT is all about software. Whichever area of IT you are now, I can guarantee that 99% of the time you'll be working with software. So please, for the newbies, I want us to know that IT is all about software. Okay, so next slide. What is a software development project? That is a project where a group of people will build an application. And who are the members of that group? So the members of that group are project managers. In the new wave, we call them, we have also some people called product owner, product manager. We have the scrum master, we have the business analyst, we have the quality assurance analyst, we have the developer and programmers. And in some cases, we also have the database people, but most of the time now, it is the developers that do the work of the database guys. So when you go into a software development project, you will find these people in that project. You will find a project manager, you find a business analyst, you find a QA analyst, you find a developer. So if you want to go into IT, you have to look at kind of these areas. Like, okay, so which area of this can I go into? So next slide. So once an application has been developed, then there are people who support the application, the maintenance of the application, and the operation of that application. Okay, I'll go back. So I'll just be on here. So you have the enterprise software architects, you have the database administrators. I think I mentioned them a little bit. So most companies now, we have teams of enterprise architects, teams of database administrator, teams of DevOps engineers, team of cybersecurity people. And all these people will be in different teams serving all the enterprise. So it is not like you have a developer, you have a QA person, you have a BA person. These are group-based, team-based, but these teams are enterprise-based. It means in a company, you can have only one DevOps team, and that one DevOps team will be the one serving the whole of the company worldwide. You can have just one cybersecurity team, and that cybersecurity team is the one serving all the other software development groups, and so on and so forth. So next slide. What are the different career areas in information technology? So the purpose of our meeting today is, if you don't know much about what is IT, you should be able to know what is IT. If I want to go into IT, which area of IT do I want to go into? If I know someone who is into IT, before, if they ask me, Do you know anyone who's in IT? You say, yeah, I know John. John is in IT. What does he do? Well, I don't know. But after today, after our meeting today, you should be able to know what does John do exactly. And if you don't know what John does, you can still ask John, hey, John, which area of IT are you? Because now you should understand from this meeting. And I'll still give room to ask questions at the end if you still have other questions. So I broke IT down into these different areas. There's a process area. What is a process area? Process area are where you find like something like quality assurance, business analyst, product owner, product management, project management, software development, and scrum master. So what this means is that these areas deal with the process, and every area of IT will have these people most of the time. Every area of IT will have them, because QA has to do with testing an application, BA has to do with collecting requirements for an application. So whichever area of IT you are, you will be testing the application. You remember at the beginning I said every area of IT is about software. So because every area of IT is about software, you will be QAing the software and you will be BAing the software if there's anything like that. I made those words up, but I think you all understand what I mean. So the next area of IT is hardware. So these are physical server management, technical support, and all that kind of stuff. So your laptop is not working, someone who will open it up and try to see what is going on with it. Your router is not working, someone who will fix the router and do all that kind of stuff. So those are people in the hardware area. Application-specific consultants. So application-specific consultants are people who work in specific areas. So if someone is working with SAP, that's application-specific area. If someone is working with PeopleSoft, that's application-specific area. Oracle Business, Lawson, JD Edwards, we call all these things ERPs, Enterprise Resource Planning or whatever it's called, but it's called ERP. So anyone working in any of these ERP, that person is an application-specific consultant. Epic, Senna, most of us, we've had all these things, Maximo, ServiceNow, Workday, Salesforce, Zoho. I just put Church Marshall here. So if you attend our class, you've heard about Church Marshall. Church Marshall is my own software, so that's why I put LOL. So I'm not comparing Church Marshall with SAP, but it's just said a software is a software. So if you specialize on a software, then you are an application-specific consultant. So what is the difference between process area and application-specific? Someone who is in QA or BA will work in SAP, will work in PeopleSoft, will work in Oracle, will work in ServiceNow, because each of these specific consultant areas will still need to have process area people. You need QA on SAP, you need BA on SAP, you need project management on SAP, you need QA on PeopleSoft, you need BA on PeopleSoft, and so forth and so on. So the third area that I'm going to talk about is the industry-specific area. So like controlling, scheduling, Primavera, I'm sure some of us have heard about all these things. These industry-specific areas are only in some industries, like oil and gas, like military and all that. That's where they do all this controlling and scheduling. And if you learn, some people say, I'm going for training in Primavera. You can only work in that industry. For example, with Primavera, you cannot work with, IBM. You cannot work with, except if IBM now has a defense contract. So most of the people that work in oil and gas, defense contracts, they all do this controlling and scheduling. So that's why I call them industry specific. Also, the next one is IT governance. So the people that govern IT, that come up with policies and procedures that companies will follow in making sure that the information technology goes smoothly in that company, and every all the assets of the company are secure. And when I say asset, most of the time I'm talking about the software, the information systems. So IT governance, process measurement, because if you are not measuring, you are not growing. Every company needs to be measuring where they are, measuring metrics, having metrics, dashboard, looking at their improvement process and all that. So that's also an area. IT auditing, compliance, security, all these areas. So that's a different area. So I think those of us who are newbies, you are focusing on these things that I'm discussing now, and you're looking at, which area do I want to go into? As someone has told me, well, I want to learn project management. Yes, you can learn project management, but I think I'm still going to talk about that a little bit. If you just learn project management, you need to know about QA, BA before you can actually understand project management. A project manager is the one that manages a project. If you don't know what people are doing in that project, then it becomes difficult for you to manage that project. So I see a lot of people, they go for PMP certification, just right coming into IT. I'll always say that's a wrong move, but that is my own opinion. The first thing you need to know is the software itself. And to know software itself, it all hangs on QA and BA to know software. You cannot, as much as I'm experienced, I will not be able to manage. I will not be able to manage a hospital. I will not be able to manage a medical facility because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. Before I can manage a medical facility very well, then I have to go first for one of the professions in the medical field. If I learn how to be a nurse, then I have the idea of what the medical people are doing. Then I can manage. So I hope that is clear to everyone. I just wanted to talk about that. Then further career areas are business intelligence, data warehousing, analytics. We hear people talk about IA, artificial intelligence, and tools that you have there are IBM Cognos, Tableau. Some of us must have heard about this. Power BI, SQL Server Analysis Services, SAP BI, BW, that's business intelligence, business warehousing, Oracle, Hyperion, and so on and so forth. So these are all areas, different tools and areas if you decide to go into business intelligence. But listen to what I've said before. All these are still software. All these are still software. And that is where I'm going with business analysis and QA. The QA and business analysis is the foundation of all areas of IT. That is the foundation of all areas of IT. If you understand QA and BA, in IBM Cognos, there is still QA, there is still BA. In Tableau, there is still QA, there is still BA. In Power BI, there is still QA, there is BA, on and on like that. So I hope I'm just hammering on that so we can all understand that. So hardware mixed with software, that's the next area that I'm talking about. I think I've talked about this a little bit. Networking and network engineering, switches, routers. So these are some hardware, but those hardwares, they run on software. So now you have your fridge that is connected to your TV, that is connected to your phone, that from work you can turn on your TV and it's connected to your energy at home. So this we call IoT, Internet of Things. All these things, even though they are hardware, but you have software running in them. Operations, DevOps, technical support. So operation is always an application has been developed, the people that will manage that application, the people that will make sure that the infrastructure that the application is running on continues to run, all that. That is what you call operations. So operations are DevOps, technical support, software, hardware maintenance, application infrastructure like architecture, database administrators, training. Companies will have a training department that will train people on how to use the software once the software is being developed or has been completely developed. Cloud architects and engineers, system administrators, Unix, Linux, and Windows. So these are all the different areas of information technology. Next slide. So job titles for a business analyst. So a business analyst could be called business analyst, systems analyst, technical analyst, change management analyst, product owner, business process analyst, software analyst, project and UAT coordinator. So a business analyst that has gone through business analyst training and understand what he or she is doing can work in any of this area. And so it means if you are a business analyst, you don't have to be looking only for work as a business analyst. When you go on the job portal, you can search for any of these different areas. And you can, with your knowledge of business analysis, you should be able to do any of this. It's all the same. There is no difference. A product owner is the same thing as a business analyst. I mean, little difference, but it's all the same, you know. So next slide, career progression for business analysts. So I think let me see if I can show that. I have, so some people have asked me, I'm just stuck in this career. I don't know what to do. I've been a BA for donkey years. So what is my career progression? Is it if you are BA for 2 years, then move to project management, then move to this, then move to that? I'll say everyone should go to glassdoor.com, especially if you're a newbie or you're looking for work. I mean, you always have a lot of information on Glassdoor. So just go there and type in business analyst career, and you see career path. Any profession you're looking for, DevOps career, and then you just click on career path, and then you will see the career areas. So you start from business analyst, you go into senior business analyst, you go into business analyst 4, you go into principal business analyst, you go into associate director of business, then you go to director of business. So that's the career progression area. And you can see here the average salary for each of the area. But one thing that I want to say, career progression sometimes does not mean increase in salary. You can see here, this guy progressed from principal business analyst to associate director of business, and the salary went down. So sometimes, and it doesn't mean that you have to be a business analyst, then from business analyst, then you have to go to senior business analyst. You can jump. You can go from business analyst to business analyst 4. If you know what you're doing, you can even go to principal business analyst. And also one thing that I will need to mention is that here I'm showing business analysts at $75,000. It doesn't mean that's the average. A business analyst could earn from 65,000 to 100 and something thousand. So it depends on how you're able to negotiate. And all these salaries that you see here, they're just average salaries. So it doesn't mean that that's what you should be stuck with. So same way I have it here for QA. So you can start as a QA analyst, you can go to senior QA analyst, and even if you have, I want to say this, if you have a very good training, you can even start with senior QA analyst. You don't need to start from QA analyst. If you have good training and you know what you're doing, you can start as a senior QA analyst, because then it is assumed that you have at least 3 years, and you can even see here, 2 to 4 years of experience as senior analyst. So when you go to a good training, you should have minimum of 3 to 5 years of experience from that training. So you should be able to start off as a senior analyst. And you can see lead of quality, principal QA analyst, associate director of quality, and so on and so forth. And if you load more, then you see on like that, vice president of quality, you know. So these are all different areas of career progression. And you can see here, it stops at 113. So it means it's only just going to be increasing. And I've seen people who have gone from business analyst to like director of business analyst in just 2 or 3 years. So it depends on how hungry you are, and how focused you are, and how devoted you are. So I just wanted to show that. So going back to the slide. We're going to start from the beginning, but I will just flip through quickly. Okay, so I've talked about career progression for business analysts, and I think for QA, I also talked about that. So, what a business analyst should know. What should you know as a business analyst? I think someone is on mute. Please mute yourself. So, what should you know as a business analyst? Domain knowledge. You should have the domain knowledge. These are the different domains: insurance, education, engineering, service, hotel and travel, mortgage, e-commerce, technology, non-profit, retail, airline, banking and finance, health and medical, consulting, chemical, oil and gas, games, automobile, and so on and so forth. These are all the different areas of domain. So how do you gain knowledge in domain? That's a very, very simple thing. As a BA and QA, the major focus you should have is understanding of the process. Once you understand the process of BA in the insurance industry is the same thing as BA in the airline industry. Even it's the same process in NASA, it's the same process in, rocket science. Sometimes we say, oh, this is not rocket science. Even in rocket science, it's the same process. And you don't need to, some people will come to me and say, well, Festus, I am from airline industry. My background is in airline. I want to go into IT so I can go into airline. I say, no, you can go into any of this area if you learn what you're supposed to learn properly. Okay, I'll just, from my own, I've worked in the education, I've worked in engineering, I've worked in service, I've worked in mortgage, I've worked in technology and software, I've worked in banking and finance, I've worked in oil and gas. And most of the time, I work in one domain once and I move to the next domain. And I never have any problem because I understand the process. And the process is the same everywhere. So please understand that. So there's a simple trick to quickly understand domain. In our training, we teach that. So that should not be a problem. What else should you know aside from the domain? Communication skills to interface with stakeholders and development team. As a business analyst, you are not a beginner. You are a mid-level person. You are interfacing with the management. You are interfacing with the development team. You are somewhere up there. You are not a beginner. You are a mid-level career. So what do I mean by communication skill? Communication skill is not your accent. If communication skill is your accent, then Indians will not have jobs in IT. It is not about your accent. It's about how well you are able to explain what you are saying and people can understand. Sometimes some of us, where we come from, we don't complete sentences. We say, but you are supposed to know. I just said this, but they should know. No, that is not what is called communication. Communication is saying something in a way that makes meaning and sense to the person that you are talking to. So, as we live in the United States, our accent continues to maybe get better, maybe not, but don't worry about that. Some people will say, maybe it's because of my accent. I tell you, no, it is not because of your accent, or else people will not listen to me when I talk in companies. So and I would say that my English was not as fluent as this when I first came to the United States, because I came from Germany to the United States, and in Germany I studied in German. When I came to the United States, my first language was German, so that was the language I was so fluent in, and I started speaking English really here. Not that I wasn't speaking English, But I'll first sometimes think about what is, even sometimes till today, I still remember, hey, this is what it's called in German, but I'm trying to struggle to remember it in English. So what I'm saying in essence is that it is not your accent that it takes your communication skills. It is how effective you're able to say what you're saying so that people can understand. Technical knowledge. What is the technical knowledge that you need? You need to understand SQL. You need to understand database. You need to understand some form of data dictionary. You need to understand HTML, MS Office, like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. You need some little knowledge of scripting languages like HTML and XML. It is not like you need to become a developer. You just need to know, hey, if I'm going to be working on cleaning a car, I want to know, even though I'm just cleaning the car, I don't need to know how the engine works. But if I know how the engine works, it helps me better to know how to clean the car, so that when I'm cleaning the engine, I don't put water where I'm not supposed to put water. That's just the purpose. You're never going to put the engine together. You're just cleaning the car. So same thing here. A business analyst will only be gathering requirements for an application. You will never be writing code for that application. Okay. Knowledge of SQL and database is very important, because when you put information in the front end of an application, you want to go into a database and you want to go and see that data that you have put in the front end to make sure that it gets to the back end correctly. And all this we teach in our training. Okay, next slide. Okay, I think that was fast. So this is the end of the slides. So that gives us more time to be able to talk about questions, if we have any. So where do you get training? Well, anywhere you can get training is fine. Anywhere you can get training. So this is what I say. If you are planning to come into IT, try to find training first in QA area and BA area. Those trainings will teach you, and I'm talking about good training now. Those good training will teach you on how people work on applications, on how applications function, so that if later you decide to go into DevOps, you want to go into cloud technology, you already have some foundation. So get your training anywhere. You can also get your training from us. We've been doing this since 2006 here in the United States. Basically here from Houston, Texas. So if you want to register for our training that is coming up, our next training will come up on, let me see, on July 21st. Let me see. Let me give a specific date. Yeah, July 21st, which is the last Saturday of July. That is when our next training will start. And to register for training, this is the URL to register for training. Maybe admin will help us to post this on the platform, and you can register. So you can only register once. If you have registered through this form before, you don't need to register again. It means we already have your name. And please, if you are not ready this time, don't register, because some people, what they do is they register for classes. When the class is about to start and I'm calling them, some people are asking me, who is this? Who gave you my number? And I'm saying, didn't you register that you want to take part in it? I don't remember. So please, if you're not really serious about this, because if we want only 30 people, once 30 people register, then we stop registration. But if we register 30 people and 10 people decide not to come, then it means you have blocked 10 people that will have come. So please, that's what I would say about that. So questions?
Thank you, mentor. That's a very good one. Thank you, sir. If you have questions, I think there's a space in the chat room where you can paste or you can post your questions so that I can read them out for Mr. Festus to answer them. Like I always say, Mr. Festus is a mentor of mentors. He is my personal mentor. He brought me into the IT world, and I'm so proud to share my mentor with all of you. Thank you, sir, for being a worthy mentor. And at the same time, I have my questions first. Maybe I should go first before I open the floor to other people.
Yeah.
My question to you, my first question to you is funny. I know you've done this so many times. You do this every year. You want to help people to come into IT. You don't charge for anything. You even feed them when they come to your classes. You know, where do you get that energy? Where do you get that motivation to do this? Please.
Thanks for that. Um, that is one of the questions that I don't have answer to. So I think I found purpose in doing this, and when you do what you love, you just love what you do. You see people grow, you are happy. I mean, you just like you are so weak, you are so tired, and then someone just knocks your door and says, "Hey, you won $1 million." You know how you just get that energy. So the same thing, I get energy when I train people and I see them doing well. It motivates me to continue to do more. It motivates me. I mean, I always tell people this. I've been doing this since 2006 here in the US, and
Yeah.
there has never been a training that we did that not a single person got a job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
every training that we had, people will always get jobs. So that's what motivates me. I'm always thinking, if I stop having training, I'm stopping somebody from getting a job. Every training that I don't hold, I'm holding somebody's life. I mean, I know God can shift me aside and bring somebody that can do it for that person, but that's just a delay for that person.
Yeah.
So that's what really motivates me. And I feel like the little things that we do here and there can actually change our community.
Yeah,
The
please
little
get
things
me.
that we do here and there.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I've made you David. You can go on.
So the little things that we do here and there, I help my neighbor, you help your neighbor, I help 2 other people, you help 3 other people. That will go round. That will go round. And by the time you know, our community has changed. By the time you know, even we came to this country, we could be the one to change the narrative of the African Americans in this country.
Yeah.
We could be the one. But it's just by one step at a time. One step at a time. What you can do at a time. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say to that. That's what I would say to that. And just to also, each time I come on this platform, I am so, even sometimes when I'm sleeping, sometimes I'm just so grateful for this forum. I'm so grateful for this platform, because if we are not doing this, there is nothing only one person can do.
Yeah.
I remember when this platform started, it was 50 people, 100 people, 250, we have to, the platform had to move out of WhatsApp and I see us growing into thousands upon thousands. I think we're already almost 1,800 now and growing.
2000 now. Yeah.
Yes, growing. So please, let's just keep it up. For those of us who are already ahead, please, let's pull those people that are down. Let's pull them up. Let's put them up. I'm helping someone today. Someone might be the one to help me tomorrow.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that brief answer. Like I
Yes.
was at a function and somebody was making the same note about somebody I respect so much. That some people came early to this country to do, no disrespect to people doing odd jobs. It's actually, if you're doing odd job, it's a noble job. As long as you're not doing fraud or Yahoo, I respect you. But as some people came to this country to do those odd jobs, so that those of us that will come after them would do better and live a better life. And I know you're laying foundations, just like you said. You've been doing this for almost 20 years now. And I met you doing this. You tutored me, you mentored me, and we're laying another foundation for others coming behind to follow that steps. You know, the narrative is changing fast. You know, when you see an Indian in America, you know the Indians are either into medicine or IT or engineering. Now, we want that to be said about we Africans. And thank you for doing that. My second question again is this. Sorry, I'll open the floor to everybody. So QA is another way to start IT, and that's how I started, and it helped me a lot. It helped me to graduate into an application developer that I am today. You taught me QA, and what I see nowadays, it's no longer software testing. It's more of, in fact, they call them SDET now, software development engineers and test. So there's a lot of developments. There's a new angle to it that you are behaving like a developer. You are being trained not to just test an application, but to be able to rectify in a little way, you know, or prefer a solution to a problematic application. Do you think it is still that same old QA that you think people can start from? Because now you need to understand Java, you need to understand C# to run automation. Do you think the QA we have nowadays is the same QA that we used to have? And do you think it's still a starting ground for a fresher?
Okay. Thanks for that question. So QA is divided into two different areas. There is the manual side of QA. There is the automation side of QA. So in our training, we teach the manual side of QA, because you are not just going to be a QA, you are really coming to our training to be a business analyst, not to be a QA. But you are coming to our training to be a business analyst that understands QA and understands Scrum Master, product owner, product management, and all that. So if you now feel like, well, I want to graduate into the area of automation, which is the software SDET, you know, test automation, test engineer, and all that, we have separate trainings for that. After you have gone through this, you can go for that training also, you know. And we have a lot of people on this forum that is what they're doing. And I always talk about it here. My son, that is what he does. And he has been doing this for like 6, 7, 8 years. He's just 23, 24, 25 years. He's been doing this. You wonder, when did he start? He started very young. So it's an area that we can graduate to after we have. So let me say something else again. Many companies are still doing manual testing. Many companies are still doing manual testing. And in a company where you have automation testers, you still have manual testers. I have students now that are currently working, and the first job they found after finishing the BA class is QA lead as manual QA lead, or working in a company as a QA analyst that is just doing manual. But they hired that person as a QA analyst because of the experience that person has as a business analyst. So there are still jobs in QA, but you can't just learn the QA alone, just like we used to do it years back. You need to progress into a business analyst area, or Scrum Master, or product owner, all those kind of areas. Or I think we also have examples on this platform, people who learned BA and then went into ServiceNow, then became BA ServiceNow, ServiceNow business analyst, or Workday business analyst. Because now you already know the process of business analysis, you are just learning how that software works, which wouldn't take you time.
Thank you so much for that answer. Sorry, yes. Mr. Nicholas, can you take off your video? So sorry, we don't want videos. People will be distracted. Thank you. You can unmute your video. So somebody, let me read the question from someone. There's a Soala here. She said, Is there a WhatsApp group for these webinar classes? Yeah, we have a WhatsApp. We have a group in Telegram. If you want to, I'll share the link to our IT group in Telegram where you can ask any question about these classes. Mide is asking about the recording. I'll paste the recording here. Sorry, after in the chat group tomorrow. So somebody's asking, how long does your trainee take, and what is the cost? I should have given this person an answer, but I want you to say it directly. What is your training cost, sir, and how long does it take?
Okay, the first part of the question, how much is priceless because it costs nothing. It is FOC, free of charge.
Free of charge.
It is free of charge. So it costs you nothing. When I say nothing, I mean nothing. So that's the first part of the question. The second part of the question is every class that we have now, we have a live project where students will go through a live project, develop an application. They are not going to be working on the application as developer. We have developers, we have designers, we have technical people. So if you are in the class or in the training to learn how to be a QA and business analyst, you will be performing the role of a QA and business analyst on that project. Some people will be performing the role of project managers on that project. I already have some people who are coming to learn how to become project managers because they already went through QA and BA and they already have maybe project manager certification, but they don't know how to manage projects. So they will be using our live project. You are actually going to work on a live application that you can actually talk about or not talk about if you just coin some other application and talk about some other application. So we'll talk about that in the class, what you can talk about, how you coin it and all that. I talked about domain. You should understand how to quickly jump into any domain at any time. It doesn't matter. I've worked in oil and gas. I just told you guys my background is in law, not in anything technical. And I worked on a software in oil and gas that you need to have almost like a master's in safety engineering before you can work on that software. And it didn't take me time to quickly understand. So all that trick and strategy, we're going to learn it in class. So second part of the question, how long does the class take? The class is going to take us almost 12 weeks to 16 weeks. And the reason why it takes that long is because of our project. There's going to be a live project that we'll go through. We have a current class that is going on now. We finished all the training, but we're just kind of trying to wrap up our project. Because when people actually see live project, and the projects that we do in our training is most of the time even bigger than what you will do in companies.
Yeah.
So we have an application that is called Church Marshall. Church Marshall is a live application that churches are using all over the world. So if we give you project on that, then you're just going to be working, adding something to that application, understanding that application, doing all those kind of stuff. So that's why it takes that long. Or else it shouldn't take that long. But I think I've seen a lot of students talk about how the project has really, really helped them. Yeah. And before we were not doing this, we just train, everybody goes and try to struggle and get a job. But since we started doing projects, people have really, really found it easy to kind of just talk about what they have done in the project and not trying to cram stuff, and memorize.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And yes. I remember during my class, I think before the end of our class, somebody got a job. So if people...
Yes, just to mention again, sorry to cut you, just to mention again, there's a training that is going on right now. We have not even finished and someone already started working. Yeah. Has gotten a job.
Yeah. I know some people don't get that, they don't have that patience. They'll be applying from right from the class, and you can get job at the end of the class. Okay, let me take this question, sir. This person is asking, he said, what differentiates a business analyst from a data analyst?
Okay, so I think I mentioned, if you actually listen to the different areas that I talked about before, I talked about data analysts being part of business intelligence. Let me quickly go there. So you can see on my screen here, career areas of information technology, business intelligence. That is where data analyst belongs to. A data analyst, so please listen to this. I tell people, I'm successful in IT because I'm not that intelligent. I'm like you went to high school and you are not first, you are not second, you are not third, you are just somewhere in the middle. That is who I am. But hey, it doesn't stop you from getting to where you get to. And if you are too intelligent, then you can overcomplicate IT. IT is so stupid simple. Sorry for using that word. Data analysis or analytics is analyzing data for business purposes to make decisions. Walmart will analyze their data and know that from Friday to Saturday, people come to Walmart and buy this product. They get it from the analysis of their product, of their data. McDonald's will analyze their data and know that between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m., less people come to the store. And then that's why they say, get one, buy one free. That is what is called data analysis, business intelligence. It's using data to make business decisions.
Okay.
And if I can just add one sentence to that, business analysis is gathering of requirement for a project. You are gathering requirements for a project. What is the requirement needed for a project? And QA is testing that software that you have gathered requirement for. I hope that answers your question.
I hope so. Somebody asked, he said, do you need QA and BA for RMF? That's risk management framework. That for risk analyst, do you need QA and BA for that?
Yes, that's a good question. So let me say this. I know some people will, some people are so brilliant. If you put them from high school, you put them in PhD class, they will pass, right? So some people are just that intelligent. So some people can quickly catch up stuff. So if you are someone that can quickly catch up stuff, you can jump into any of this area. But what I'm saying today to us is to lay a very good foundation in IT. That is a good place to start from. But I'm not saying don't do RMF, don't do all that, because RMF is still talking about software. What are you trying to secure? You are trying to secure a software. QMBA teaches you how to understand how software works. So that's what I would say to that. What is DevOps? DevOps is all about operations. But what are you developing? You are developing software. And where does software fall back to? It falls back to QA and BA.
Okay. Yeah, somebody said, what's the difference between BA and PLM? What's PLM? It's the first time I mean PLM. Could that be
Black Lives Matter?
Sorry?
I thought I heard Black Lives Matters.
Okay, if you don't, we don't understand what you're referring to.
Yeah, I don't know too.
So, I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so many abbreviations. You have to tell us what you mean, and then we can be able to.
So if you have that question, that person, please tell us what you mean by PLM. We don't know. So somebody asked, is your next class going to be on-site or virtual?
The next class is going to be virtual. So COVID brought, that's one of the good things that COVID brought. before, you remember, we always had a class here and there will be 100 and something people, and so,
Yes.
but when COVID started, it was like, what are we going to hold class? So then I told people, okay, so class is going to continue when COVID goes away. But COVID lingered on and lingered on and lingered on. And people started calling me like, hey, I need this class, I need this class, I need this class. And I was just glad. That is why we always say it is always good to try new things. Because sometimes we are so used to our old ways that we don't want to try new things. I was so used to that old way of standing in the class and teaching people that I didn't feel comfortable, going online to teach people. Even though we have always done online here and there before, but I never preferred it. But COVID has made us to understand that, hey, we just have to follow what is going on. And what is going on right now is, online is the thing. And it also helps us to be able to reach more people. I mean, we've had students from Nigeria, we have students from all over Europe, Canada, everywhere. And I mean, those people couldn't come. I mean, they have to be online. So before we used to do it that way, we give only concession to the people who are not in location. But now, all our classes are offline. All our classes are online.
Yeah.
So we have the technology and everything set now to be able to hold a good class online and hold it well, that we will not miss anything. But hey, now if you're online and you just put on your laptop and Festus is screaming and shouting and you're just cooking or watching NBA, well then that's on you. So there is nothing one can do about that. But hey, it is assumed that everyone that is coming to the class, they are all adults, and adults, they have the reason why they're coming to class, and they're able to devote time to that time.
Yes. Thank you, sir. And I know Mr. Festus doesn't joke with his homework. So just repeat. Yeah. If he gives you an homework and you don't do it, you're not gonna be his friend. Somebody's asking a question. He said, I have job experience of over 13 years in different areas, aviation, banking, oil and gas. Okay, he didn't finish the question, but how can he start? Do you recommend him starting from the BAQA?
Yeah, I'll still say the same thing. I
With over 13 years
don't
experience?
don't worry about where you're coming from. Just focus on where you're going. Your
Yeah.
first job might be with Google. Has nothing to do with aviation. Has nothing to do with banking. Has nothing to do with oil and gas. So you should be open that way. Learn the process. Once you understand the process, you can work anywhere. Now, if you find job in banking, the knowledge that you already had in banking will enhance you. But it doesn't mean that if today I find a job in banking, it doesn't reduce anything for me, because the process is the same. I just need to learn their software, what they do, their process, and in 1 month, I'm good as someone who has been in that company for 10 years.
Yes.
So don't focus only on the areas that you have experience. Whatever
Yeah.
you're coming to learn is just a process. And with that process, you can work anywhere.
Yes. And just to add to what you just said, sir, I myself had 10 years banking experience before I came to your class. And that helped me to get my first IT job in a bank. So it was an IT job in one of the big five. So somebody's asking what platform you use and how can one join. Don't worry, when you join the class, we'll tell you what platform we use to present, but it's going to be virtual. So, okay, this person is asking more questions. The man with the 13 years experience, he said, I have gotten the Scrum Master certificate,
Mm-hmm.
and I also I've learned Jira and how to use Jira
Yeah.
software.
Yeah.
Must I still go through this QABA class to practice Scrum, to be a Scrum Master?
So
Because it's already certified. Yeah.
what I'll say is, don't listen to me. Don't listen to my advice. And why would I say don't listen to my advice? So why I say that is, Before, I used to tell students, please, let's finish the class before you start looking for work. So please, because I'm thinking about how dummy I am, how I do things, but sometimes how I do things is not how everyone would do things. And I'll give an example. There was one guy who was supposed to join our class. I'm talking of years back now. And the guy said, no, I'm working, I don't want to come to class. So his wife joined the class. So we were like 3 weeks into the class. Then the wife called me, like, hey, Brother Festus, there's a problem. What's the problem? My husband just lost his job. So can he come to class? I said, but we're already like 3 weeks, 4 weeks into the class. He said, oh, please, I will bring him up, up to speed. I'll bring him up to speed. And I said, okay. So this guy came to class. After 3 weeks in the class, this guy came to class one day and just said, praise the Lord. I said, what happened? I just found a job. So that is why since then, I never tell anyone, please, if you feel confident to look for a job at any point in time, please do. Because if you ask me, I always say, wait. But who knows? So what I would tell this person is, you already have Scrum Master certification, you have already learned Jira, start looking for work while you attend the class.
Okay.
Because the class can only enhance your knowledge. So as a Scrum Master for a team, you're supposed to understand what the team members are doing, right? The team members are QA people, the team members are BA people, the team members are developers. And in our training, I said we're going to touch on all those areas. So that's just what I would say. But I wouldn't discourage you. While you're still looking for training or you're trying to attend training, continue looking for work. And that shouldn't stop you from getting a job.
Awesome. Okay, somebody has considered, what are the prerequisites to take your classes? Any prerequisites?
Yes, there are prerequisites that you're able to read email and send email.
Okay. Somebody asks, what day and time will the training be?
The training is mostly on Saturdays. Okay. So we have, every time we always try to make better what we're doing. So this last class now, we used a different methodology. In the next class, we're going to try to use another. So you remember I talked about process improvement. Yeah, you can even see it on my screen. Process measurement and improvement. Every time we're trying to teach more, we're trying to make things better. So if you come to our next class, you will most likely know more than the people who came to the last class. The people who are in the current class know more than the people who came to the last class. Each time we're trying to make things better. And the classes will be on Saturdays. So there might be some meetings, team meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays and during the week and all that. But that will be an agreement between the different teams once we divide people into groups.
Good, sir. There are a lot of people asking for a link to register for the class.
Yes, I think I posted it. I put it there. I think someone posted it, right?
Yeah, so there's a link there. Look for a link. You can click the link to register for the class. So
yeah. And please, I will say again, please only register. The only thing you need to be doing is, if you think I'm not ready this year, I'm going to be ready next year, please come next year. I've just said it now, it's a free class. So the only thing you need to pray for me is that, hey, I'm still alive. And even if I'm not, hey, the other people will take up the class. The admin is there, every other person is there. So only come when you know you have time. And please only register when you know you are going to attend, because there's a cap to how many people can come to the class. And if you just register and you don't come, then it means you have, debarred someone who is really ready to come to the class.
Yeah. Sorry, please take off your video. Thank you. Yeah. Somebody asks, if I understand you have a developer section. Can you give me the link to that? Okay, yeah, we've shared the link. Just join the class. You'll learn everything you need to learn. Then somebody is asking for the link to the Telegram group. I will post the link here shortly. so that you can join us on Telegram and follow developments in IT world. Yeah, Kike already posted the, thank you Kike for posting the Telegram group. It's there. Somebody asked.
Did we post the link to join the class? So okay, yeah, I see it there.
Yeah. There's a link to join the class.
Yeah.
So somebody asked the question: is there any do you give people certification for attending your class?
If you want, I can give you, but I don't, because it's not necessary.
Yeah.
It is not necessary. So some people are, this is not, I know where we come from. Every time we get certificate and all that, but your certificate is worthless and useless, so you don't need it. You can do certification. In our training, everyone will do Scrum Master certification. That's all about it. You don't need. United States, I tell everyone, is the best country in the whole world where anyone can start anytime. You could be 60 years, you could be 70 years, you could be 45, you could be 18, you could be 15, you could be any age. The only time anyone will know your age is when they have given you the job.
Yeah.
I'll say that again. No employer will know your age until you have gotten the job. So age doesn't come in. I mean, I came from Europe. I just said that on your resume, or they call it a CV there, your age is already there. So they just see it. Oh wow, 40 years. They just shred it.
Yeah.
And even in Europe, I remember we used to put picture. You go and do a passport photograph like 100, very expensive. You put it on every. So once they see your color, they see your age, they just shred it. But that does not happen here in the US. Here, anyone can start. And we've had people here who started at the age of almost 70. I mean, there are examples.
Yeah.
People who came to our class at almost the age of 70, they retired, and they were still able to find jobs. And they are still working till today.
Yeah. Like I tell people, your certification, I don't know why we're certificate centric. It is not important in US. In fact, if I'm interviewing you and I know you're certified in that field, I will really, really want to drill you to be sure you got that certification yourself. So certification is good, but not required, not necessary.
That's correct.
Somebody's asking, do you guide people to take certification program? No, the training is just to teach you how to learn your basic IT skills.
Yes. But we guide you to do Scrum Master certification.
Okay, yes.
So we do that. We guide you to do Scrum Master certification, and almost everyone in the class, in our class, they have Scrum Master certification. So if you want to be a Scrum Master, hey, you can do that. Very easy. So what I would say, please, okay. Sorry to cut you. What I would say is, please, when you come into IT, don't hide. Don't tread the rope. Don't try to, I don't want to learn this. I just want this simple area. Then that simple area, there are going to be too many people. A lot of people rush to Scrum Master because Scrum Master is easy, right? It's easy, but then they're going to call like 300 people for the same interview. And God help in getting that job. So that's what I would say. Have an open mind, ready to learn. Have mentors in the group, in this Pan-African forum. There are so many people that can help you. So all the background and foundation is there for you to build on.
Okay, so somebody's asking. She said, is it okay for someone who has been in the I know this person, I won't mention the name. He said the person said she has been in the class before. Can she join the class again while she's waiting to get a job?
I mean, our training is a church. You don't you don't close door for people, but
Please come back. I won't mention your name. I know that person. So
yeah, what you just need to think about is there is nothing you are going to hear from me that you have not heard from me before. So, I mean, you should be able to come back and train others, even if it is little that you know. I'll give an example. There was a time I had to travel to Nigeria, and there was a class that was supposed to start, and we already had a lot of people for that class, and there was no way I could cancel that class. I was going to be in Nigeria for like 4 or 5 weeks. As we were just finishing the one class, then I called one of the students. Hey, I'm going to be traveling to Nigeria. Can you please help me to train the next class? She said, what? I just finished. I don't know anything. I said, please, whatever you know is fine. Whatever you know, just try your best. And I'll tell you that that's one of the, aside from the other one that I said, the husband of the lady found a job while we were, that's one of the classes that someone found a job even before I came back from Nigeria in that class.
Yeah.
So we should not wait until we know everything. If you have attended the class before, I'm not saying don't attend, but don't come back as a visitor. Come back as someone who is going to lead the others based on the little that you already understood. But hey, our training is always a church, you know.
Okay. Somebody said, when is the class? Do you have a specific date the class is starting?
The specific date we're starting this training.
Yeah.
I think I already mentioned the 31st of July. Saturday, the 31st of July.
Oh, okay. Saturday, 31st of July.
Yeah, the further communication. So once people register, further communication will be sent out to that group on time, you know, and all that kind of other information.
Okay. Somebody asked, what time will the class be? Some of us have service now classes on Saturdays and Sundays. We don't want classes. It's a choice. So what time will it be on Saturdays? He doesn't want class.
Mostly it's going to be in the morning hours, anytime from. So the current class that we have now, we start from 9 a.m. But you know, anytime from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. will be fine. It's just going to be, I think it's going to be like 2 hours. Each meeting is going to be 2 hours, but further information will be sent out on what will be done and all that. So,
Okay.
but each meeting is going to be 2 hours.
Okay.
And it's only Saturdays.
Okay. Somebody asked, do you offer training on cybersecurity?
No, but we have Mr. Fakunle for that. So, yeah.
All right. Well, Mr. Festus has exhausted a lot of time answering our questions. I'm going to give a grace of 5 more minutes to people who want to ask their questions directly. If you want to talk, you have just like 30 seconds. So you can unmute yourself and ask your questions politely. Anybody? Anyone?
Yes, please.
Okay, please go on.
Yeah. So my name is Kingsley. I already have training in BA. I do not. I believe it's time to start applying for jobs, but I do not have a resume. Is there any way I can reach out for help, please?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, reach out to me. Let me see. Let me post the. I'll post a. I'm typing a QA class instructors. Send me. QA class instructors at gmail.com. Send me email to that email. So I posted it. QA class instructors at gmail.com.
Thank you, sir.
So I always please everyone, you will bear with me. when I start class, I always tell people, please don't call me. My hands and legs and head and it's tight everywhere. I almost don't have any time. Even almost at this time, doing my doctorate. And this is what I say. You can. I didn't even go to school for IT, but I'm doing my doctorate in IT. So it's just your experience, and that's why United States is a very great country. So I tell people, email me, text me if you have any question. Most of the time I'm meetings or I'm studying, I'm writing some research papers, I'm doing all that kind of stuff. But if you text me, I will respond to you at the earliest time once I see your text. If there is a need to call, then I will make an appointment with you and then we will have a call. So I can also post my number, but please don't call me, just text me if you have any question.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. Sorry, I think he has answered this question already, but I didn't get it. When exactly will this the next classes start? What date?
31st
July.
July.
31st July.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Next question, anybody?
So I posted my number, but please just text me, don't call me. Please.
Oh, okay.
I don't see.
I'm going to run crazy with calls. You know.
I was going to say that. So that's his number there. That's Mr. Festus' number there.
I don't seem to see the number.
It's on the chat section. Go to the chat section and search. It's open. You see a number that starts with 83. 832.
Yes. Thanks.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Kwelumi. Yeah, I just want to confirm if you offer training in cloud computing as well.
You want that for free too?
No, we don't. So yeah. this time our training is mostly focused on the process areas. Our training, because once you understand the process area, you can go for your training in any other area and you quickly understand what you're learning. So some students, they went for cloud computing class and they never understood what they did until they came to our BAQA class. A lot of them told me.
Yeah.
So coming to this class first might be a prerequisite for you to go into that other class, if that is really what you want to do. But I'm not saying that people have not gone to those kind of classes and have not found job. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying you want to find job and be able to go to job with rest of mind, not being scared like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. If they ask me this, what am I going to do? So you want to really have that knowledge.
Yeah, and if the knowledge is coming to you free of charge, what do you lose? So even if you have plans to go into cloud computing, I will always advise you start these process areas and learn the topics for free. You'll never.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate.
Just 2 more questions. Yeah, we'll take 1 more question. Anybody? Anyone?
Hello, sir.
Sure.
Yeah, my name is Akin Agbeja from Canada. I want Mr. Sende and Mr. Festus to acknowledge there's a person that say he wants to volunteer in the next class. and I think her name is Adeton. I wouldn't know.
Okay.
She said, I want to volunteer in the next resource in the next class with Mr. Festus. Maybe you should appreciate that person. And Mr. Festus, thanks for all you are doing. God
Thank
keep
you.
blessing you. We are doing well. We are with you.
Thank
and we
you.
pray for more strength for you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ake. Thank you for offering to serve our community. We appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for the opportunity.
One more question to go, because we have to release our guard to go and rest.
Hello, question, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, this is Ayodele on the line. Mr. Festus, I know you know me. We attend the same church. Thank you for your time. I just wanted to ask a question about ServiceNow. Is there going to be training on ServiceNow as well?
No, there is no training on ServiceNow. But what I mentioned was that if you are going to work on ServiceNow,
Right.
you're either going to work on ServiceNow. I think there's a background noise.
Okay, sir. Go on.
Yeah. So what I was saying was that if you want to work on ServiceNow, ServiceNow is an application, right? So it is either you are working as a QA analyst on ServiceNow or you are working as a business analyst on ServiceNow. That skill of knowing how to work as a business analyst is what you will learn from our class. And when you go for ServiceNow training, you're just breezing through because now you're just understanding ServiceNow. But from our training, you already understood how you work as a business analyst on every application.
Okay, thank you, sir. I joined late, so I didn't really hear that before. Well, thank you.
No problem.
I think our time is far spent, and we should be rounding up on the webinar. Thank you so much, boss. I call you boss. You're my boss all the time, and I'm so grateful for you giving yourself to help this community. We're proud to have you, and like I tell everybody, I'm proud to share my mentor with you. So thank you, sir. And I hope when next I call on you, you always make yourself available.
Of course.
Thank you for joining this webinar, and watch out for the next edition next month. Sorry, before the end of the month. Yeah, we'll be bringing some interesting personalities to come on board and give us a different topic. Till then, I say good night. I'll paste the link to the Telegram group in the chat section. Good night and God bless.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.